Drake just stunned the rap world by apologizing to the same artist he dissed across his huge triple album rollout. After dominating headlines with brutal lyrical shots, Drake suddenly switched lanes with a public piece offering nobody saw coming. Stick around because fans believe there's a hidden play inside Drake's apology that could leave his rivals walking straight into an even bigger downfall. Drake took his career in a new direction on May 15, 2026, dropping not one, not two, but 3 new studio albums in one go. Iceman, Habibti, and Maid of Honor. These are his first solo projects since the release of For All the Dogs in 2023, which followed a long contentious battle against Kendrick Lamar's diss tracks that damaged his image for many. In all, the rapper released 43 songs. Iceman is the main attraction, a bar-heavy introspection with Drake rapping in peak form and examining all aspects of life, while Maid of Honor and Habibti lean into R&B, dance, and cater more toward the ladies. The rollout itself was a spectacle. He covered his favorite courtside seats at Toronto's Scotiabank Arena in ice and turned a parking lot in downtown Toronto into a massive ice block installation. Fans used blowtorches, sledgehammers, and pickaxes to reveal the album's release date. Late on May 14th, the rapper turned the CN Tower into a glowing ice blue landmark during a live stream event leading into the album's midnight release. The 3 albums were released as a surprise package at midnight ET on Friday after Drake ended his Iceman episode 4 YouTube livestream and revealed the trio would be dropping together. Nobody expected 3 projects at once. People expected Iceman and Iceman alone. The revelation that Habibti and Maid of Honor were coming alongside it sent social media into a frenzy that lasted through the entire weekend, and in numbers backed up the frenzy. On Friday, Spotify announced that Drake has set the single-day records for most streamed artist and album on the platform in 2026, thanks to his first new solo project since 2023. According to reports, Iceman's intro track, Make Them Cry, now boasts the record for Spotify's biggest debut for a rap song with 13.2 million streams in a single day upon its debut. Not Like Us previously held that record with 12.8 million streams. So, right off the bat, Drake reclaimed the streaming record from the very song that had haunted him for 2 years. But the streaming records are not what people are talking about. The lyrics are, because when people press play on Iceman, they heard a man who had been silent for 2 years finally opening his mouth. And what came out was not what many expected. As Drizzy put it on Iceman opener, I'm in the cut, just loading rebuttals. That line sets the tone for everything that follows. Fans immediately started dissecting the lyrics for apparent shots aimed at everyone from LeBron James to Rick Ross, A$AP Rocky, and Kendrick Lamar. The list of people Drake went after is staggering. Specific or subliminal shots appeared for Drake's rival Kendrick Lamar, past foes like Pusha T and A$AP Rocky, former NBA friends like DeMar DeRozan and LeBron James, and more. Fans also caught disses on negative references towards J. Cole, Jay-Z, DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, Pharrell, Joe Budden, Mustard, and UMG CEO Lucian Grange. That is not a short list. That is a phone book of grievances. And the question now floating across every timeline and comment section is simple. After all of this smoke, did Drake at any point say sorry? Did he offer an olive branch to anyone? Or did he just ban every bridge left standing? Let's start where every conversation about Drake in 2026 has to start, with Kendrick Lamar. The feud between Drake and Kendrick Lamar is the backdrop against which every word on Iceman must be understood. The intense feud between the rappers burned bright in 2024, culminating with Lamar taking the Super Bowl halftime show stage and winning 5 Grammy Awards for the diss track Not Like Us. The damage that Not Like Us inflicted on Drake's reputation was catastrophic in a way that rap feud rarely achieve. Music journalist Peter A. Berry put it bluntly. The loss that Drake took to Kendrick Lamar on a national and global stage is probably the biggest loss any rapper has ever taken in a big rap conflict. He pointed to Not Like Us taking home record and Song of the Year at the 2025 Grammys, a first for a rap diss track. The victory lap concluded with Lamar performing the chart topper on stage at the Super Bowl halftime show. Drake's response to all of this was not silence. It was litigation. Drake took stock of the scorched bridges and betrayal, even filing a lawsuit against UMG and alleging that they had harmed his reputation through the promotion of Not Like Us. Drake filed a lawsuit against UMG in January 2025, accusing the label of promoting Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us in a way that falsely implied Drake was a criminal pedophile. The lawsuit targets the label but not Lamar personally. The lawsuit was dismissed. UMG had said in a legal filing that Drake had lost a rap battle that he provoked and sued in a misguided attempt to salve his wounds. Those are devastating words coming from your own label. Drake's appealing a dismissed lawsuit against his label UMG for releasing Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. So, when Iceman finally arrived, the entire world wanted to know, would Drake address this? Would he take accountability? Would he acknowledge any defeat at all? The answer is laid, complicated, and relentlessly combative. Kendrick Lamar is referenced on multiple tracks across Iceman, and the tone is not remotely apologetic. On the track Dust, Drake raps, "What was the year you said you had slaps? 'Cause I don't remember it going like that. I don't remember one word of your raps." That is Drake dismissing the entire catalog of diss tracks that the public overwhelmingly said he lost to. On Genesis TFU, things get more pointed. Drake apparently shaded Kendrick, seemingly accusing him of pretending to help his community on camera before going back to the hills. The line attacks the core of Kendrick's identity as a socially conscious rapper who represents Compton and the broader black community. And on Make Them Pay, Drake challenged the streaming narratives that define the commercial battle between himself and Kendrick. Damn, man, who is this guy for real? I guess a magician. 100 million streams. Vanished. No one got questions. Drake raps. This ties directly into his ongoing claims that UMG engaged in fraudulent activity to boost Not Like Us. An understandably angered Drake takes multiple opportunities to poke at Kendrick's public image. He mocks Kendrick's height. In Make Them Remember, Drake mocks Lamar's height by mentioning 5 feet 3 inches NBA star Muggsy Bogues. And Muggsy Bogues dunked for once. Even I'm a bit amazed, he says. On Make Them Cry, the album's very first song, Drake revisits the emotional wreckage of the feud. In the opening track, Drake introduces the overarching themes of betrayal and feeling isolated. It is a slower, reflective track and sets the scene for what is to come. And notably, on Bees on the Table featuring 21 Savage, Drake draws a clear legal distinction. I'm fighting the man, not suing the rapper. You boys is not listening. With this lyric, his painting the major record company as the man, the symbol of institutional power and dominance he's now fighting against. So, regarding Kendrick Lamar specifically, there is no apology. There is no concession. There is not even a moment of quiet reflection that could be generously interpreted as regret. What there is, across multiple tracks, is a man who has been stewing for 2 years and has finally been given a microphone again. And that brings us to the next name on the list, someone who was once considered Drake's brother. If there is one person Drake might have had reason to apologize to on Iceman, or alternatively, one person he might have received an apology from, it's J. Cole. The two were allies. They were part of what the hip-hop world called the Big Three, alongside Kendrick Lamar. And then the war started, and J. Cole walked away from it. Here's what happened. On Drake and J. Cole's 2023 collaboration First Person Shooter, Cole claimed that he, Drake, and Kendrick were the Big Three in hip-hop. Months later, Kendrick Lamar kick-started one of the biggest rap beefs of all time when he responded on Future and Metro Boomin's Like That. Cole released 7-Minute Drill on his mixtape Might Delete Later shortly after. Less than a week later, Cole apologized to Kendrick during his annual Dreamville Festival and removed the track from streaming services. This left Drake standing alone against the full force of Kendrick Lamar's lyrical assault. When Drake engaged in a beef with Kendrick Lamar back in 2024, J. Cole stood back. While he did drop 7-Minute Drill, he ultimately decided that it wasn't worth it, and he retreated. This left Drake all alone in the battle, and in the end, Kendrick Lamar got the best of him. For the last 2 years, Drake has kept his feelings about Cole bottled up inside of him. He hasn't been able to truly express how all of this has made him feel, until now. On Make Them Pay, Drake finally addresses J. Cole directly. Drizzy appears to accuse Cole of discussing his place in the rivalry with Jay-Z and unceremoniously backing out during his appearance at the 2024 Dreamville Festival. The lyrics are devastating in their emotional honesty. On the more nuanced front, we have some vulnerable and heartbreaking Cole-directed bars from Drake on Make Them Pay. The feelings are complicated. I love you cause of the history. But if we being real, I could never forgive you. Drake raps, later emphasizing his point by sending out a middle finger to the idea of a big three in rap. The full verse lays it bare. The song finds a Toronto rapper reflecting heavily on the fallout from the highly publicized 2024 rap feud and Cole's decision to distance himself from the conflict. And there's context that makes this even more painful. On an episode of the 7 p.m. in Brooklyn podcast earlier this year, Cole revealed that Drake was originally expected to perform at the same Dreamville Fest, where Cole apologized for dissing Kendrick. He was supposed to be at Dreamville Fest. That was planned. He didn't come, Cole explained. I appreciate him for not turning up. He's like, I didn't want to come down and put you in a situation on that stage and say something that you would have to stand behind. And I'm like, thank God that you didn't, because it left a space for me to receive what I was supposed to do. So, Cole was grateful Drake didn't show up and drag him into the war further, but Drake interprets Cole's retreat as abandonment. I'll make them remember, Drake raps, I could have fell back like the married rapper, but we engaged. Some are interpreting that as J. Cole stepping away from his 2024 beef with Kendrick after briefly joining in. For some, this is an example of Drake fighting back against evil. For others, this is simply a feeble attempt at winning back public favor. What it is not, by any reading, is an apology. Drake does not apologize to J. Cole. He does not apologize for the position he put Cole in by reigniting a feud. He says he loves him for their shared history and then says he can never forgive him. That is the opposite of reconciliation. It's a eulogy for a friendship delivered in real time. And if that's how Drake treats someone he loved, imagine how he handles the people he merely tolerated beyond Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole. Drake's target list on Iceman reads like a who's who of people he has unfinished business with, and the scope of it is breathtaking. Let's start with A$AP Rocky. Drake and Rihanna had some history before A$AP. Rocky and Rihanna found their happily ever after with 3 kids, and it appears to be the continued source of tension between both rappers. This thing between us, it's not real smoke, but I just don't F with him, A$AP Rocky said earlier this year. We was once friends. I feel like it's over females. That context is critical. A$AP Rocky went first this time. In January, A$AP Rocky released a diss track against Drake. Don't be dumb. Rocky has now found himself the apparent subject of some choice Iceman lines, including on Burning Bridges and Firm Friends. On Burning Bridges, Drake seems to diss Rihanna, whom he dated on and off from 2009 to 2016, and her partner, A$AP Rocky, for her not releasing new music in a decade. Yo baby mama ain't even post your single, where she at? The lyrics state. That line is particularly vicious because it weaponizes Rihanna's absence from music as evidence that A$AP Rocky's own career lacks household support. Drake is making the argument that the biggest pop star in the world, the woman A$AP Rocky has 3 children with, couldn't even be bothered to promote his album. Whether that's true, fair, or even relevant does not matter. It's designed to sting. Then there's DJ Khaled. Drake and DJ Khaled's list of collaborations is a long one. There's Grease and Popstar, plus no new friends. I'm on one, and more. But on Iceman, the rapper gives him the cold shoulder. Make Them Pay finds Drake on his album Iceman, dissing longtime collaborator DJ Khaled seemingly over Palestine silence. The track finds Drake reflecting on fractured industry alliances, with Khaled appearing to be the target of his frustration. Given Khaled's Palestinian heritage and Muslim background, the lyric is widely read as Drake criticizing Khaled for stepping away from public conflict and choosing restraint during industry tension involving figures like Rick Ross and Kendrick Lamar. The Khaled diss is particularly notable because it drags in geopolitics. Drake is essentially telling a Palestinian-American Muslim that he stayed quiet when things got heated, and then pivots to accuse him of not doing enough for the Free Palestine movement. It's an incendiary combination that has generated enormous debate online about whether Drake has the standing to make that critique. Rick Ross takes a hit on the same track. Drake raps, "Dog, I was aiding Ross with streams before Aiden Ross had ever streamed," basically claiming he was boosting Ross' career long before their friendship imploded. Mustard, the producer behind Not Like Us, gets targeted on too hard for the radio. Mustard heard about us, got to catch up to the slaps. You ain't had one since me and YG rapped. Drake raps, marking a reference to a Drizzy, featuring YG track released back in 2014. Playboi Carti catches a lyrical shot on Whisper My Name, an offering on Iceman that finds Drake questioning his former friend's street cred and checking his temperature. Inspired by Carti allegedly throwing smut on his name to an unnamed third party, Drizzy coyly references a track from the Atlanta rapper's music album. And LeBron James, once one of Drake's closest celebrity friends, gets caught in the crossfire, too. Drake and LeBron were friendly for years, and Drake praised the NBA star in his music before. However, LeBron seemingly took a side in the Kendrick-Drake beef by attending Kendrick's The Pop Out concert in LA, and he was spotted bopping to Drake diss track Not Like Us. On Make Them, remember, Drake raps, "I shouldn't even be shocked to see you in that arena, because you always made your career off of switching teams up." Even Jay-Z takes indirect shots. Drake disses Jay-Z on multiple songs, including Janice STFU. On Whisper My Name, Drake alludes to the social media debate over whether someone would rather have dinner with Jay-Z or get $500K in cash. In the spirit of rekindling old beefs, Drake expresses his disdain for longtime nemesis Pusha T on Make Them Pay, and also references Pusha's alleged ties to convicted sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein on Too Hard for the Radio. The pattern is unmistakable. Every track on Iceman functions as a page ripped from a burn book Drake has been writing for 2 years. Friends, former collaborators, rivals, sports figures, producers. Nobody is exempt. The scope of the attack is so wide that it raises a question the internet has been wrestling with since Friday morning. Is there a single person on this list Drake showed mercy toward? By now, we have walked through every major target on Iceman. We have examined the Kendrick Lamar disses. We have dissected the J. Cole bars. We have cataloged the shots at A$AP Rocky, DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, LeBron James, Playboi Carti, Pusha T, DJ Mustard, and even Rihanna. And the answer to the question posed by this video's title is, bluntly, no. Drake did not apologize to any of the rappers he dissed on his new albums. Not one. Drake isn't big on forgiving or forgetting, but they say it isn't healthy to hold on to anger. On Iceman, one of 3 albums the rapper delivered at midnight, he blows off steam and takes aim at his current roster of enemies and adversaries. There is no track on Iceman where Drake expresses regret for anything he said. There is no interlude where he extends an olive branch. The closest thing to emotional complexity comes on the J. Cole verse of Make Them Pay, where Drake admits love and history, but pairs it with an explicit statement that forgiveness is off the table. And there's a business dimension to all of this as well. Amid Drake's dismissed lawsuit appeal against UMG for defamation, many fans wondered what this triple threat meant. The leading theory became that he got out of his UMG contract with these full lengths and is now able to go independent or seek a new home. According to Hits Daily Double, this may just be true. Drake doesn't mince words about wanting out, lamenting "swear my label got to free me, baby" on Janice STFU. If these 3 albums do indeed fulfill his UMG contract, then Iceman is not just a creative statement. It is a severance letter, and severance letters, by their nature, are not documents of reconciliation. For Drake purists, Iceman is the most hard-hitting of the 3, an album that looks back on the trials and tribulations of the past few years and the fallout from his highly publicized beef with Kendrick Lamar. Across Iceman, Drake aims at his former friends turned foes and turns his pain into conviction, sharing how the industry's betrayal became his rocket fuel. The album closes with a line that functions as a thesis statement for the entire project. Drake's final act of defiance comes on Iceman's concluding song, What Happened to Drake from 2009, when all of the moments was intimate. What happened to Drake with the innocence? I don't think we'll be seeing him again. That is not a man apologizing. That is a man declaring that the version of himself that was capable of apologizing, the version that wore his heart on his sleeve, that was vulnerable, that built friendships across the entire industry is dead. The old Drake is gone. The Iceman is here, and the Iceman does not say sorry. Drake's diss tracks from the 2024 feud were dismissed as inferior or largely forgotten, and he took to the courtroom to continue the feud, a move seen by followers of the rivalry as an admission of defeat. For now, Iceman remains a polarizing release. Some people hear a rapper reasserting dominance. Others hear a man who lost the biggest battle of his career and is lashing out at everyone who watched it happen. But what nobody hears, and this is the point, is an apology. Drake dropped 43 songs across 3 albums, aimed at over a dozen people, and did not retract a single word. Whether that's strength or stubbornness, confidence or delusion, is up to you. What it is not, and what it will never be mistaken for, is a man saying he's sorry.